All right, it's 4:05, so I think I'm gonna get us started, and then if anyone else joins late, they'll just be a little late. All right, I'm gonna share my screen. Let's see if I remember how to do this. All right, I'm gonna move this. Okay, so before we begin, I'm just going to introduce myself. Hi, I'm Zoe. I'm the Cleveland Foundation intern for this summer for Community Partnership on Aging. So I've been with CPA since the end of May, beginning of June, around then. I'm a recent Case Western Reserve graduate, and I'm continuing with my master's there this upcoming year. And also for the Cleveland Foundation, I kind of forgot I'm supposed to take photos. So I'm going to quickly screenshot this Zoom. So if you don't want to be in it, you can turn your camera off or duck out of the frame. And if you want to be in it, smile wide. I'm going to take it in 3, 2, 1. I got it. Thank you. This way my supervisor doesn't get mad at me. All right. So today we are going to be talking about digital scrapbooking. To give you some background, I would say that I'm a bit of an avid scrapbooker. I've been doing it for a while. I love scrapbooking, like my college journey trips that I went on with my family, things like that. So I was super excited to kind of talk about the digital side of things since I've started getting a little bit more creative online. I'm pretty old school when it comes to this type of stuff, but it has just been easier making that transition to digital scrapbooking. All right, so this is what we are covering today. It's kind of short. Also, there's a fly in my apartment right now, so if you see me like dodging it, it's because it's buzzing in my ear. So we are covering like what exactly is digital scrapbooking, the pros and cons to switching, how digital just kind of makes things easier, and then some tips and tricks. Also, all the little screenshots are scrapbooks that my friends and I have made in the past, so they are real people scrapbooks. Um, so yeah. So what exactly is digital scrapbooking? It is basically the exact same thing that if you've ever scrapbooked, you've done, except instead of on paper, it's online. You can use things like Photoshop. You don't have to use things like Photoshop to become a digital scrapbooker. It's just there's apps and websites like Photoshop that can help create like the type of image and the type of spread that you want. That's something cool. There's like apps you can literally download to make one type of photo. I've used apps to make a photo collage, which was much faster than making it by hand or making it by hand on um, like PowerPoint or something like that. And it's just basically what you do. It's just, it's up to you. You have 100% total creative freedom, and you can take all your personal photos and design it in whichever way you want. And the only difference is it's online and it's not physical. You can print it out, of course. My dad's also a bit of a scrapbooker, and every year he makes one online and then submits it to Shutterfly, which then they print it out into a hardcover, which is something you can also do with this. It's very, very versatile. So why should we make the switch to digital? It's just frankly, everything is digital nowadays, especially as we all saw with the pandemic and how quick our society really just became completely virtual. It just makes things easier. I don't know about you guys, but I don't have a printer. It's been very difficult for me to print things, especially now that I don't live at home. I either would have to submit things to like Staples and get them to print it out, or find a friend who has a printer and who would let me use their ink. So since most of our photos are digital, it kind of makes more sense to keep the scrapbooking process online instead of having to print them out and then having 2 copies of every photo. Also, something that's really fun is you can work on it with others and it kind of become a group project. My friends and I have done that for birthdays and things. We make like a big scrapbooky PowerPoint about one of our friends where we each have a slide, or we can all work on one slide together. It's just things like that. It also just skips a lot of the steps. Like printing out photos, buying glue. I don't know about you guys. I always run out of glue and tape, and then I have to like wait until I can get to a store to buy all that stuff. Also, it's the worst when you realize that, the look that you want, you don't have the materials to make it. And I now live in a very small college apartment, so I can't really fit as much crafts as I could in my childhood home, where I had like drawers of, like construction paper, fun paper, newspapers, things like that. I just don't have the space for it anymore, sadly. So that is also why I've also moved on to digital. It also just keeps things cleaner, simpler. I know where everything is, and not, my room doesn't become as much of a mess when I want to be a little bit artsy. So where can you do this? There's a bunch of different platforms. These are just probably the three most common platforms that I think you can make a digital scrapbook on. I personally know a little bit about Photoshop, but I don't have Photoshop on my computer, so I don't really do anything on it. But you can do most things on PowerPoint and Google Sheets. If you have a PC, you most likely have the Microsoft Suite downloaded since they're the most compatible. I have an iMac, so I still have PowerPoint because I was a student, but it didn't come with the laptop. So you do have to buy the Microsoft Suite, but that's why a big one is Google Sheets. All you need for Google Sheets is an email, then you have a Google account, and then you have a limited free storage space for you to be as crafty as you want. That's super nice. And then also Canva, which I believe there was a session on Canva earlier. You can totally make a scrapbook template on that. They have a lot of pre-made ones as well. So you can just pick the one that best suits the look you're going for. And then all you have to do for these, if you want to share them, for PowerPoint, it's an email. I know like my grandparents would always want to see my scrapbooks, and I would like have to try to take pictures of them, and that's kind of hard, if you want to get the right lighting. Sometimes it doesn't look as good on the photo as it does in person. So it's kind of nice to just be able to email them the exact thing so they can see it as clearly as possible. Google Sheets, once again, the Google Share feature, as far as I know, currently is unbeatable. It's just a little button in a corner, and as long as the other person has an email or has access to someone's email, then they can view it. You can change the settings so all they can do is view it, so they don't accidentally delete or add something. And then Canva, once again, can just be downloaded and emailed. Super, super easy thing to do. And then the person you're showing it to is seeing it exactly as the way you intended it to. Also, what you can do too is at the end, once you're fully done with all your spreads, just print them out and create a book, which kind of gives you that physical aspect of it that I know a lot of people like, without all of the hassle of all of the smaller like pieces of paper, glue, all that stuff that you needed to create it. Once again, I really want to focus on ease of sharing, just because with this as we were in this pandemic, I don't know about you guys, but I haven't been able to see my family for a while. So, it was hard, to be physically in person. So we became pretty virtual, which is why I kind of also switched to virtual so that they can kind of still see, a little bit more of the crafty things I've been up to. I also thought this layout was really cool, so I wanted to use it. And once again, it is just so easy to send it from your computer to anywhere else, and you can be viewing it at the same time as them. So then we get into the technical aspect. So the biggest question is, how can you upload photos, right? You can't make a scrapbook without your photos. The biggest two ways that I have seen is you can go through Google Photos, which once again is free through your email. If you have a Gmail, you automatically have Google Photos, and then you can upload them from your personal computer. If you're using a laptop, you automatically have a hard drive that you can save photos to. So, if you upload things from your phone, from emails, things like that. On my iMac, for me, the app is called iPhotos. If you have a PC, I think it's just a folder in your home drive. But yeah, super simple. And then also something that I really like about digitally crafting is you have a lot of options at your fingertips. So for example, you have Google Images, which, you can find cool little animations, cool little things that you can, put in your templates. Like I found these little pieces. Oh, go back. I found these little pieces of tape that I put in to make it look, a little bit more scrapbooky. But one of my favorite things is there are really cool websites where photographers upload their photos that they take, and you can download them for free and then use them however you wish to pizzazz up your spreads. I'm going to exit out of this really quick and show you what I mean for this, because I know sometimes it's easier to see what someone is talking about. So here, this is my personal photos, but this is the girl who's my big in my sorority. I made her like a big photo thing for her graduation gift. And this is Google Photos. I was able to upload all the photos of her specifically into a folder, which makes it super easy to access. And then this is a website that I use a lot. It's called Unsplash, and these are real photographers who do it, and there's like a hobby, freelance, things like that, and then they just post these photos that you can use. You can download them for free, and it's pretty cool. I made like a rainbow photo wall using these types of photos that came out pretty cool in my room last year. So once again, it's like all this at your fingertips, because I know when I used to scrapbook in the physical sense, it would be hard sometimes to find the image that I wanted to complete the look of the scrapbook that I was going for. So yeah, and also another cool thing about this is the sharing aspect, like on social media. I have a few friends who have gotten super, super, super into bullet journaling and scrapbooking on smaller scrapbooks, and they post them on social media so people can see. Also, I think there are some chats. Let me quickly read this. Oh yeah, Rebecca posted another good free image site as well that you can see in the chat. And then I think we can email this out. That is a Carolyn question. But yeah, I believe we could probably email this out. I mean, I have no problem sending it to Carolyn if she wants to email it out to the participants. But yeah, the recording will also be on the YouTube in a specific time frame. But yeah, so that's really cool to just be able to use all these different things at your fingertips. And you can use personal videos as well. I know my dad has gotten into that a lot. He makes like these really long videos now for people's birthdays that have pictures from when they were young, home videos and things like that. And he's a little bit old school, so he does burn them on CDs, and then he keeps them, but they're all on his MacBook at home, so he can view them whenever he wants. And once again, you can always connect a computer to the TV so you can watch stuff on a much larger screen, which is a lot of fun. And then here are some tips and tricks that I have thought up. So first off, there are templates online, and I know like if you want to be super creative on your own, then go ahead and develop everything on your own. That's totally fine. But if you need a little bit more like a little bit more help, or you just want things to look a little bit more clean across the board, you can literally Google like scrapbook templates and things like this. So this PowerPoint slide is from this website called slidesmania.com, and I just downloaded it because I thought it looked cool, and it would I want to go backwards, and it would help me make a PowerPoint that looked somewhat like a scrapbook, which is very convenient. Another thing is, if you go on YouTube or anything really, you can find tutorials online of people, being very, very creative. That was what I do a lot. I Google something that I want to try and do with my own. And there's usually some sort of step-by-step tutorial that helps you, and you typically don't need like heavy software like Photoshop or anything like that, just because you can do a lot now. Like I have apps specifically downloaded like on my phone that lets me do some of the things that photos you need Photoshop for, and then I just email it to myself, and then I have access to that. And then just the other thing too is you can always crop and rotate anything. There's a lot of really cool command functions you can learn through these tutorials that will give you like little hints on what to do to make things like look different. Like you can always on iPhotos or whatever the photo library is called on your computer, you can always edit photos too, like, you know, make them look like a cartoon or like the like you can make them look like it's like water paint, things like that. But once again, all you have to do is kind of Google it. There are much more experts at that out there than me, and they will do a step-by-step breakdown of what you need to do it. And once again, you don't need a lot of heavy software that costs a lot of money, which is what I thought in the beginning. When a lot of my friends started doing more things online, I thought I would have to learn Photoshop, things like that. Photoshop's a lot of fun. If you want to learn it, go for it. But I just didn't really have the time to like sit down and do and learn it. And it's also, in my opinion, pretty expensive. But there's a lot of free apps and stuff out there that kind of gives you what you need from Photoshop. And as long as you don't like use it every day, I don't really know if it's worth paying for, because I do believe you pay for it on a monthly basis. But yeah, even on PowerPoint and Google Sheets, like things like this, you can crop, rotate anything, get it to fit on the page. You can change your layouts anytime you want. That's the other thing too. If you make a mistake, all it is a undo button or a backspace, and it's not, you know, like ripping up a piece of paper or having to recut something out, which is I've run into plenty of times. So that's also really cool. Another thing too is you can also draw. If you're a big drawer or painter, there are apps called like Paint and stuff that you can draw with a stylus on your computer. It is a little bit harder to maneuver than just your hands. I'm, to be honest, not much of an artist in that regard. I usually like to scrapbook visually with different pieces of paper, colors, things like that, which is why I was able to convert very easily to the online platform. But if you are much more, I can go to the next page. So the next page is a picture of my friend's scrapbook. She's very much into like the painting and the drawing. And that is a little bit harder to translate to online, because you would have to find a specific app that would give you like this watercolor look. They do exist, and you can become very like apt at it. But if you already have these materials and things like that, then you can always do it by hand and then upload it so that you can use it on your actual online version of your scrapbook, which is pretty nice. So it is pretty compatible. Like the biggest thing, honestly, is the versatility of it, because you can print it out, download it, email it out, things like that. And it just like cuts out a lot of the hassle of having to have all the different types of paper materials, things like that. Because I know my friend, she has like, you know, gouache paint, acrylic, oil, all that type of stuff. And she's learning how to like make this look on Photoshop and other apps like that allow her to not have to carry it all around. Because that's the other thing too, is, you know, you can always scrapbook anywhere, if it's online, as long as you have an internet connection. Honestly, if you're doing it on PowerPoint, you don't even need internet. You just need to have your photos at your already uploaded, and you can work on it whenever. Because I know that was really annoying when I would want to like scrapbook someplace. I'd have to bring all the materials with me. It's like a whole bag, and if you forgot like your scissors or something, like that would be a bit of an issue. So it's just really cool. And also, a lot of younger people are starting to automatically go to digital. So softwares are being developed much more now and more accessible than I would say like 5 years ago, when really like only graphic designers and people like that were doing art digitally. So now it's much easier to pick it up, because there's a lot more easy, accessible, ready to start beginner level software and apps and things like that that you can do. which is also has helped me because I'm also not the biggest computer person. So it's been very nice to start off that beginner level and continue upwards. And it's been a lot of fun. I'm gonna stop sharing. I'll show you guys like a little PowerPoint my friends and I made for my one friend who was having a little bit of a rough time, and we made her a little PowerPoint of just all our favorite memories with her, and it was really, really easy to put together because that's the other thing. It's really hard to coordinate with a bunch of people. But doing this, it's just a link, and then they can do whenever they want in their free time, and they can make whatever they want. So that's pretty nice. Like, yeah. So here, I'll just show you the beginning part. And this is also fun to do like with anyone. So it was for my friend named Grace. We made our little scrapbook thing. We called it Amazing Grace because it was a pun. And then we each just took a slide and we wrote some little things about her. That, it was to just help her get out of a little bit of funk. And it also was a lot of fun for my friends and I because, it's always fun to look at old photos and share old memories and things like that. So that was another really awesome use of this digital scrapbooking idea and things like that. But yeah, let me get back to this PowerPoint now. Wow, I haven't shared and unshared my screen in so long. This is what happens when you stop being a student. But yeah, that was like pretty much all I had. This was pretty quick because once again, digital scrapbooking is very much like it's your choose your own journey because it's your creative outlet and how you want to use it. So does anybody have any questions or anything like that? Yeah, thank you.
What's some of the names of the free apps that you use?
Oh, okay, that's a good one.
Yeah.
So the photo, the one Rebecca sent a website for like free photos as well as Unsplash are big ones. And then let me find the apps. There's one called like Collage It. And all I would do is like upload it. I would upload like 25 photos and it would automatically create a collage to an image that I wanted. Anytime I want to find something specific, I just Google like app for making whatever, and there's usually a bunch of lists that pop up with people's reviews. Since people nowadays are really getting into it, you'll see a lot of that.
Zoe, I'm just popped 2 links in the chat for different sites. I'm going to grab a couple more.
Can you show us an example of how to do it?
Yeah. How you do it? Let me stop sharing. I am just pulling it up. Okay, I have an image of it. It's not, I made this a while ago. I'm gonna zoom in and show you guys what I'm talking about. I don't have the actual image anymore because it was on my old computer and I didn't transfer it. That's really small. Okay. Let me see. This is so I used an app called, I think it was called Collage It or Picked It. If I, let's see. Oops. I just would Google like collage app, and I think I just used this first one. I did this on my phone. And then what it does is you just upload a bunch of photos. So all those little tiny squares are individual photos, and then you pick like your big photo that you wanted to overlay. So this is my friend, I made this for her graduation. And then I overlaid, it was like 25 photos, and they're just in a repeating order. So I overlaid it over this big picture, and I printed it out at Staples, and I used it in one of my scrapbooks later. And so she just framed it. So each of those little individual photos is each of those individual little squares is a photo of her and one of her friends. I did something very similar for my parents' wedding anniversary, but I did it on Photoshop because my aunt was in town who had Photoshop, so I was able to do it. But this app did the exact same thing. It was free. I downloaded it right off the App Store, and I didn't need Photoshop or anything like that to create basically the exact same design, and it was much more efficient. So anytime I make collages now, I do that type of thing, but I don't have the app right now because it is on a different device that I use for more creative things. But this is just an example of like what you can do with some of the apps. Like really anything you're looking for, if you just Google what it is you're looking for with the word app after it, a bunch of things come up, and you can read like the best ones, like people's tips and tricks to make it easier, things like that, which is really great. Okay, I think
Thanks.
yeah, no problem. I think I see some more chats. Oh yeah. Oh, thanks, Rebecca. She sent all the links.
Zoe, I could share, I have like a couple examples from like slides.
Mhm.
If you want, because you weren't pulling that one up.
Yeah, no, go ahead because yeah,
Okay.
if you want to, no pressure.
Yeah, just so people can see. So this is from Google Slides. So if you have a Gmail account, you have access to Google Slides. And it's similar to a PowerPoint presentation, but you can kind of do the same thing, that you can input images and make like a collage effect, or put frames around. And I'll just show you real quick. I'll go ahead and screen share. So this is an example from a class that I took last semester. I had to create an infographic. It's pretty basic, but yeah, so I just would click on this text box icon, and then like click into the PowerPoint, and then it creates a box. And then you can put a fill color in. You can put a frame around it and give the frame a color. I don't know. Let's try this one. That looks all right. And then just type your text. You can change the font to, well, actually, excuse me, you'd have to highlight it first to change the, the font. And then you can bold it. And then if you want to put an image in, you would go to insert, image, and then you can upload something from your computer, or you can search the web. Let's say flowers. This one's pretty. And then right, it's too big. So I'm going to drag it down from the corner and just make it smaller. It still doesn't fit in my box. So I click on my box and enlarge my box, and now it fits. right? And then you can just like move this around wherever you want. I'm moving it by left clicking on my touchpad and then sliding. So I would left click and hold with my mouse and then just like move it around. See, my picture didn't come with me. It's not attached to the box. It's just sort of like you have to position it if you reposition your box. But that's like some of the features. I'm just going to remove all that so my flyer is back to its original. Bum, bum, bum. Okay. I made a hyperdoc for another class that I was in. And let me see where that went. Maybe this flyer would be a better representation. So I made this flyer for our morning inspiration program that we have with iConnect. Miss Sheila comes to that. And it's just, you know, I find slides to be a really simple way to manipulate and move text as well as graphics around. And then you can just save it as a PDF file so you can print it up anywhere if you need to, or if you just want to send it electronically. But yeah, I won't take over your time, Zoe, but those are just like two sort of examples of ways that you can put images and text together through slides.
Yeah, thanks, Rebecca. I can show people things if they want to just keep seeing features that you can use. Or there's any other specific questions? But yeah, oh, go ahead.
Now she mentions that you have Google.
Mm-hmm.
You can get into Google. What part of Google do you go in? You just go in Google app, or
Yeah,
how do
yeah.
you got to?
Yeah, so the moment if you have a email, you can let me get some back to my Google account. Yeah, so if you click on the little square like with all the dots right here in the right corner, these are all your apps that are basically pre-downloaded with your Google account. So what me and Rebecca were just using is this yellow box. It's called Google Slides. And this is where you basically can make PowerPoint. So if you have PowerPoint, it's basically the same thing as Google Sheets. There's a little bit less functionality with Google Sheets, but really like it's different commands and stuff. That's really it. And once again, they do have pre-programmed templates if you want to use, like if you want to do like a photo album layout, they have that. Or you can just make your own. These are all past PowerPoints that I've made throughout college and stuff like that.
Is that on the computer?
Yeah, these are all on my computer.
How do you do it on the phone?
So you can download the Google Sheets app onto your phone. I actually have it. Let me show you guys. It looks like this. Let's see.
Is it Google Sheets app?
Yeah. So like all of this that you see on the computer, like all of these little buttons, like options, these are also apps you can download onto your phone if you want to do it. So if on my phone, I have access to every single thing I see right here as well. Once again, it would be very hard to do it on my phone because the computer just has more functions, but you can view it and if you need to on your phone at really all times. But yeah, so this is, and then once you can just, so if you just want to click into one, you just click it. And then so this was a template that I used online that you can just download and use for your own version. And once again, that's just by Googling, scrapbooking template, and that will appear. And then you can just, so I just created it. I added my own images. I like changed the layout by what Rebecca was showing. You can just click and drag things around and make them whichever way you want to look. You can change colors. This up here is all your tools. There's a lot of tools you can use. This fill color will change it. If I want a dark pink box, I can just click that and that will change that. And since once again, it's all online, it's very easy to just change it. If you're like, oh, that's kind of ugly, let me put it back to this light pink color. It's very simple to do, and you don't need to like erase or, white out things like you would in real life. So I can go over some of these options up here because this is a huge toolbar. This little T, this is for a text box. If you wanted to add words, you would just click it and then you could draw your text box and you can start typing, which is what this is. This is a text box, is what I use to type. And then within your text box, you can choose, the font that you want. There's a lot of fonts, which is kind of cool to change the fonts if you want. There's some fun ones, like that. This is the sizing of it. You have bold, italicize, underline, the color, and highlight all right here. These are probably the main tools you're going to be using when dealing with text. If you have an image, there are more options. There are more options up here. You can format your image by like centering it on your page. You can rotate, you can animate it if you want. You can even crop the image to fit how you want. Whatever you want to do. You can make it smaller, as Rebecca showed, by using the corner button. This little thing here will make things grow, make it small, all within the same dimensions. If you wanted to make it longer, you can just pull it up from the middle, but it won't keep it in its exact dimensions. You can make it bigger, wider like that too, but that also won't keep it in the same dimensions. The corner will increase both the width and the height at the same time. So a lot of people just use the corner function because typically you want your image to be the same width and height if you're like using squares and stuff like that. And I could always change the layout from this pre-downloaded template. Once again, you don't need to pre-download a template. You can design it however you want because you have this background capability, which you can change the colors of your template. You can make it an image that you could upload. You can look it up on Google. You have your Google Drive photos, everything like that, and you can make the whole background an image. It's really like it's a lot of fun because it really is just like choose your own adventure. You can do anything you want. Also, there is some pre-downloaded shapes that you can do. So like if you like to use arrows, you can, there's a bunch of already pre-made ones that you can just draw out to however big or long you want. Once again, you can change the color with this fill bucket right here. It takes it's a lot, there's a lot of different functions. And once again, you'll just pick it up as you play around. Like if you're trying to fill it and you don't know which one to click, you just try it out and you're like, oh, that didn't work. So you just undo what you did and then try a different thing and that's what it worked. So you kind of pick it up as you keep experimenting with different things. Because the toolbar is quite a lot, as you can see up here. But that's what's pretty nice about it, is that you have like a lot of options, so you're not stuck doing something that you don't want to do.
Zoe, if I could just add in there, I wanted to mention, Mel, because you were talking specifically about doing it on the phone, and the site Canva, the app Canva, has specific formatting to develop images, collage images sized for your phone. So there, Carolyn did a tutorial, like one of these advanced sessions on that a couple months ago. I don't remember if you were there or not, but you could watch that on our YouTube channel to see like more step-by-step about, working Canva. But that's a really good option if you want to do it on your phone.
Yeah, and something
Okay.
else really cool about Google Drive too is you can download the things you make in Canva to then use in your Google Drive. So I can show you if I can move this thing. So this is, wait, I will stop sharing really quick. This is some stuff like little graphics that like Carolyn and I have made for this one event that CPA is putting on called Step Up to the Plate. And you can make it on Canva and then you can download it as an image and use it like as a photo. So here, let me share my screen. So this image right here was made on Canva, but I downloaded it and I put it in my Google Drive, which is just uploading it into your Google Drive. And now I can insert it into any PowerPoint or anything that I want. So you can create images and then transfer it over to Google Sheets or PowerPoint, things like that. So the versatility is very, very large with all of these types of things. And here, the way you upload things onto Google Drive is very simple. I can also show you that really quickly. Let's go. You just go to your Google Drive. This is typically where I upload things, and you just click on this big button that says new, and then you just click file upload, and then this is everything that I have downloaded, saved to my document, saved to my desktop that I can upload. Here I can upload this. And then it will tell you how long it takes. And then once it's there, I just have to find it. So it's called Screenshot. Look at all the screenshots I've uploaded. And now it is in my Google Drive and I can use it whenever I want. I can insert it right in here. And now it's there. I also have to share screen sharing because my computer, if you can hear it, the fan is working overtime right now. Yeah, are there any more questions or anything else?
I guess it's me again. I'm in the Canva, but I'm trying to figure out. I got a piece of paper with something already on it. I was trying
Oh,
to get it clear.
Here,
That
let me pull up.
there's got to be more to it. Oh, here it is. Fine.
Yeah, so a lot of times with Canva, the template's already pre-created and then you just delete the things you don't want and upload the things that you want. I'm sure in the presentation, I believe it was Carolyn who did or somebody else from CPA, they'll go into a lot of details about how to work with all of that. But yeah, Canva is very, very user-friendly. I really recommend using it. I just started using it because of CPA and thank goodness they showed it to me because it's been great to use.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, and you can do anything you want.
I was trying to get a blank piece of paper to write on, right?
Yeah, so for Canva, you're gonna need to use the text feature probably, because I don't know if it has that ability to just write blankly on it.
So I got a purple piece of paper now, but no tool. Wait, okay, here it is. Piece of paper. I picked the color. I'm done, right? Now, how do I get my text box back up there? How do I get my?
Let's see.
It keeps coming up color.
You should have a text option in your left side toolbar.
No, it's a It's a color bar at the bottom, a big purple screen at the bottom. Looks like a pencil and a number next to it, and at the top is the text box.
Does your Canva look like this? This should be your home page.
No, I don't look like that.
Okay, make sure do you have canva.com typed in?
Well, I'm in the Canva app.
Oh, you're in the app on the phone. Oh, okay. I'm not too familiar with the phone features on it, but once you click on a template like this one, it should be pretty similar on the phone. All of this stuff is already there. You can delete it and do whatever you want. You can type different things on it if you double click. There might be a tutorial on YouTube or on Canva itself that tells you how to work it on the phone app because I'm not that familiar with it. I don't know if somebody who watched the Canva tutorial, if you know if it goes to the phone app at Carolyn, perhaps.
So far I can do is change the color. Replace, delete. Just have to mess with it more. Huh?
Yeah, I'd about to say definitely like messing with things it will help you pick up. Yeah, maybe try clicking on like the images themselves. If you're just like on the big thing, you can only really change the color. But if you click on the images, it looks like they'll give you more options. Can make this hot dog a different color.
Where did it go?
Oh, awesome. Yeah.
That's not.
Yeah, and then once you just start doing you'll start like figuring out things that you like the look of and how you'll have like some techniques that you like to use, and then that becomes pretty second nature, like what Rebecca and I showed you, like making images bigger, making them like transparent. I'm a big fan of making photos look transparent and then like putting words on top of it, so that's like fun to do. And then once again, like it's just so nice because you can just email it right away to whoever you want to send it to, and then they can see it exactly how you want them to see it. And I think honestly, one of my favorite parts about digital scrapbooking is how it can become a group activity and how you and your friends can do it together. And also just the ease of accessibility of like not needing to carry around like an entire extra bag full of craft supplies. I just really need my computer, which is really nice. So I can do it like at my friend's place instead of like I used to bring like a whole bag and like take up the entire table because I had my markers and my paper and my glue. So that's pretty nice now for me and all my friends that I just can do everything I want to do on my laptop. And then of course, like I have friends who are definitely more artsy than I am, and they have showed me different ways to do it. But definitely YouTube and I are best friends when it comes to digital scrapbooking because I follow a lot of tutorials to make pretty cool looking pieces of art.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got a little something here.
That's good. Yeah, just keep playing around with it.
You see it?
Oh, nice. Yeah, you're doing something.
I'm not even sure I got that.
Yeah, no, it looks good.
Yeah, where to get it from? I got to play with this a lot, I guess.
Yeah, you do. You have to keep playing with it and figuring out what you like and what you don't like and how all the functions work, because it is a little bit annoying how if you go from like the website to the app, it's kind of different. So you do have to figure out how to do it on both. But typically it's pretty similar. It's just, maybe like the button's not in the left anymore. It's like in the bottom right. So you just have to kind of find it.
So like now, if you look at it, you don't see any kind of function keys.
Yeah, that's odd.
Yeah.
Have you hit
the pencil and all that stuff?
Yeah, see, like on the website, it's all like you can't make it disappear.
See, that's the bottom, but you don't get any delete, duplicate, color, crop, flip.
What happens if you hit that purple plus sign?
The purple plus sign.
Yeah.
It came back to the pictures.
Oh, Oh
That's
yeah,
why I got
so I guess that purple plus sign lets you add images.
right.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
definitely
yeah,
it's trial and error for sure. But yeah, if
but
you
it's not right. Okay.
don't,
It's not letting me write anything. It's just letting me put images on it. Now there's mail.
yeah, there should be a text feature. I don't know where it is on the app, but in the website there's a T. And if you click the T, you should be able to add text. So maybe try to find a T on the app.
Oh, there's nowhere to really find that.
Hmm,
Download, upload.
Let's
Plus
see
sign, a number 2 at the bottom. That's all there is.
how to add text on.
Oh, then it goes to the board and
Okay, I kind of Googled it. It says tap the plus button and then there should be a select text option, perhaps.
text the purple plus sign.
Yeah, then maybe is there a text
Just
option
folder.
instead of images?
Oh, wait. Yeah, but it came up with words. It gave me another text box.
Yeah, so if you click on the text box, I think you should be able to type.
But it's only pictures though. It's no blank one.
Yeah, you might just have to keep messing around with it.
I can get a bunch of pictures.
Oh, wait, try if you double click on the word play, it might let you edit it to say a different word.
No, I posted it.
Interesting. Yeah, I would just click around and try to figure out all the different functions. Sorry, I've never used the app for Canva. But yeah, I do like using the websites a little bit better just because it's a bigger screen so you can see everything. But I know a lot of people who prefer using their phones or like tablets to do all their crafting.
Right. Okay, well, thanks. You guys been a lot of help.
Yeah, no problem. Also, something if you want to do a lot on your phone or tablet, a lot of my friends use styluses, so you can make cleaner lines with that. If you're interested in that, that's just a side
Yeah, that's mine at the History Museum. I
note.
posted at the History Museum. Yep, taking pictures of the animals.
hmm Oh, awesome, Rebecca in all the links. She's a star. Um, so she also linked the Canva tutorial, which might be helpful for the app too.
Okay then.
All right, yeah. Well, if no one else has any more questions, thank you for listening to me ramble for the last
All
hour.
right. Thanks for answering the questions.
This was wonderful. Thank you,
Yep.
Zoe.
No problem. And then I think Carolyn said it's okay to send out the PowerPoint. I might have saw a thumbs up in her little corner. I don't remember. But I can email it to you, Carolyn, if you're there after this.
Bye.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
No problem.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye, everyone. See you
Bye.
next time.